Good evening. My name is Brian W. Smith. I'm the award-winning best-selling author of more than 40 novels. But today, I'm not in writer mode. I'm putting on my interviewer cap, and I'm going to interview some of the industry's biggest names, people whom I've had the privilege, the honor of getting to know during my 20-year writing career. I created the Readers Want to Know podcast so that you, the reader, can get a glimpse into the personality of your favorite author. I want you to see a side of them that readers normally don't get to see. So I want you to sit back and enjoy the interview. That's what I want you to do. But first, I need you to do something for me. I need you to take a moment, click the like button. I need you to click the subscribe button. I need you to do it now, right now. I'll give you a couple seconds. You did it? Good. Let's start the interview. Hello, everyone. My name is Brian W. Smith, and I welcome you back to another episode of Readers Wanna Know, the podcast where readers get to get all up in their favorite author's business. Today, my guest is the incomparable. Um, before I say what she is, let me tell you what she's done. She's written roughly 15 novels. She has won several awards, been on several bestseller lists, and she is on the Mount Rushmore of many Black authors in today's literary world. She is on their Mount Rushmore. I know this because I've talked to quite a few, and her name constantly comes up. She's currently a professor at Tulane University, which is in my hometown of New Orleans. And I'm just proud and happy to have the incomparable Bernice McFadden on the show. Bernice, welcome to Readers Wanna Know.
Well, thank you for having me, Brian.
No doubt, no doubt. I want to talk to you about a couple of things, but first of all, how are you doing down in the Big Easy?
I'm good. I just got back here late last night and the weather is actually agreeable.
Really? How's the adjustment going? New Orleans is um is a unique place.
Uh, well,
I
you know,
mean, you're
I've been,
from New York, so you understand, the
yeah.
melting pot. But I always make an argument. I think I can make a cogent argument. There are very few places in America like New Orleans. So how has your experience been so far?
It's been wonderful. I mean, this is my ninth year, so basically I'm like a native
Yeah, you're a native now.
at this point. But I know why the universe dropped me here because New Orleans it reminds me of the Caribbean in many ways, and that's why Caribbean people like it here because
Right.
it reminds them of home. So it's all good. It's all good for me.
Um, what's your go-to New Orleans dish at this point?
I really love the grilled oysters,
Oh.
char grilled oysters.
Hmm. So
Yeah,
you hang out in Drago's?
huh?
You go to Drago's a lot?
I've only been to Drago's, I think twice. I go to Neo's.
Okay, no doubt, no
Yeah.
doubt. Yeah, you can find them everywhere. You can find them out. Do you live in the heart of the city or you out in the suburbs, Metairie?
So I live downtown. I'm in the
Okay.
CBD, but I lived uptown for a while. I really like it uptown because I like all the trees.
The Garden District
But
area.
living downtown makes sense for me because I could walk to anything that I need and
Hmm.
transportation is easy. So it's
Yeah,
good for me
I
down.
was born and raised in the 17th Ward in Holly Grove. So I grew up a stone's throw from Xavier University. Um,
Oh, okay.
yeah, I lived in an area over there, Gertown. Well, my people were from Gertown and Cross Carolina Avenue, Holly Grove. But
So
yeah,
I just learned something about Hollywood.
what?
I don't know if I could say this on.
You can say whatever you want, whatever you want.
Okay, so I was watching a TikTok,
Hmm.
and a young lady was talking about the different neighborhoods,
Hmm.
and she said that Holly Grove, that's Lil Wayne's place, right?
I literally grew up on the same street with him.
Okay,
Hmm.
so she
80th
said
Street. Mhm.
that growing up, they called that area Nigger Town.
Yeah, yeah, it's
And
Nigga
I was
Town.
like, oh, okay. But there are plenty of
Hmm.
places across the country,
Hmm.
plenty of neighborhoods that had that name. So
Yeah,
that was quite interesting to me.
and it lets you know. where we migrated to. You
Right.
know, we started out primarily. If you want to go back to the era of quadroons and um, right after slavery ended. That's why the Seventh Ward was such a high. It, to this day, is such a high population of Creole and light
Yeah.
skinned people with wavy hair. Those
Yeah.
back then, that was the outskirts of New Orleans, and that's where they put us at. Of course, over the last hundred so odd years, the city has expanded. But
Right.
if you know the history of New Orleans, um, it's fascinating.
Yeah.
It's fascinating. So, yeah, I miss the city. Born and raised there. I went back for the first time this year, first time in 3 years. So I don't
Wow.
get back. I don't get back as much as I would like to. But there's no place like New Orleans. I've lived all over the country.
Right.
Although I've had a better quality of life other places. Like I live here in Dallas. I
Yes.
often describe Dallas as this big shiny bowl with a beautiful salad. Beautiful salad, and the bowl is immaculate, right? But
Right.
the salad has no taste.
Yeah, I got
Honestly, New,
people.
New Orleans is the most dented, raggediest bowl you'll ever find. But the salad is like nothing you've ever tasted. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? So that's how I describe the Big Easy.
it's a lovely place. It
It
is.
is. I love it. I
So
love it. So
actually,
go
the
ahead, go ahead.
novel that I'm working on now, part of it is set here in New Orleans. So
Is
I'm
it really?
yeah.
Have you had a chance to bring family down so they can see your adopted home?
I've had some people come down. My mother hasn't been down yet. I'm hoping to try to get her here early in the year.
Yeah.
Early this year.
Well, talking about your family, that's a perfect pivot spot to talk about your latest novel, Firstborn Girls. First of all, congratulations.
Not novel,
Memoir,
memoir.
memoir. And actually, I'm glad you made the correction because that correction actually leads into a question that I had.
Yes.
Most people tackle memoirs towards the tail end of their career. What made you tackle a memoir like while you're in your prime, right? Your literary prime.
Um, well, we never know when the end is coming, do we?
No, we don't. We don't.
And I actually, I was thinking about endings a lot when I decided to write the memoir because we were in the thick of COVID.
Mm,
It was spring 2020. I was sheltering in place in Brooklyn, New York with my mother.
hmm
My grandmother at the time was in the nursing home. So, vulnerable population. I didn't know, how much longer we would have her.
mm.
And I was thinking about her and my mom and my great aunts who had already passed and all of these stories that I grew up hearing. And we don't gather, my family doesn't gather the way we used to when I was growing up, like in the
Mhm.
70s. We just don't. Everybody is living in their own little microcosm and we
Exactly.
see each other on Facebook and I was like, well, what's going to happen to all these stories? So I
Mhm.
really I really wanted to put all the stories that I had in one place. And I'm always writing for myself, which means I'm always writing for my people. And so I was like, well, if I put all these stories in this one book, then any of my descendants will have access to the book and have access to the stories.
I
So that's
totally
really
get that.
fun.
I totally get that because my grandparents passed. And I will never forget my grandmother, probably maybe a week or two before she passed away. She was touching 90, right up in there somewhere. I like to jokingly tell people that being raised in New Orleans, I learned more about voodoo and stuff like that after I left the city, joined the army, and left town than I did growing up. You just didn't hear about it. I mean, I learned more and heard more about voodoo and stuff after I left town.
Hmm.
Fast forward to my grandmother about to pass, and I won't say a deathbed, but she was definitely well, roughly 2 weeks away from leaving us. And she told me a story. Um, and she told me basically about someone putting roots on her, right?
Uh-huh.
It was so compelling. I was blown away by the story, but I felt there was a sense of sorrow that came over me because I regretted the fact that um, both she and my grandparent and my grandfather passed away, and I never sat down and just asked them
Yeah.
all those questions. Like
Yeah.
I have so many questions now. Like why aren't there pictures of this person or there's so many historical questions I wish I would have asked, especially being a writer. I
Right.
regret that I didn't.
Yeah.
That's one of the things I admire about your memoir is the fact that you clearly researched and went back, a ways. How far did you go back in your lineage?
So I've been researching the my paternal limb for 30 odd years. My father didn't know anything much about his dad. He
Mm-hmm.
knew about his mother's family. That's the Caribbean side. My maternal family, they've been doing their research. The elders, they put together the family tree many, many years ago. So I already had that to work from. But a lot of the information in the memoir I had to stitch together
Mm-hmm.
from family lore, right? Um, Family documents. My paternal grandmother kept a lot of documents. Also genealogy records, census records, birth and death certificates, all of that. I had to piece it together. But here's the thing: the longer you sit with documents, those types of documents, and the longer you sit with your ancestors, the stories start to come together. It's like a veil disappears, it's like a window opens, and everything starts to come together. You just have to sit and listen and be open to the
To
information.
receive. I I have in my books, what I would do is take snapshots of my past or incidents that happened, and you kind of fuse them into current day stories.
Yeah,
Um, Names have been changed to protect the innocent type stuff, right?
but not so
But
instant.
but this well, not so innocent, but the story is real, right? I am I wanted to ask you in going down your past, did you receive any resistance from family members who maybe didn't want you opening up or peeling the scab off of wounds that were supposedly healed?
So, when I was actively writing and checking in with some cousins just to make sure I had some stories correct, there was no pushback. After the memoir was published, a cousin whom I've never met, who lives in Georgia, I mentioned her dad. He's just a mention as he relates to his mother. That's
Mm-hmm.
it. Who's my great aunt,
Right,
and she was highly upset. Now I'm easy to find, obviously,
right,
right?
right, right, right.
But instead of her reaching out to me, expressing her discontent to me, she took it to social media. I think she thought using my name and using the book would gain her more followers because she at one point said she was going to start a series and it didn't happen. But what she found out a few months down the road, she went and took a DNA test, and what I said was true. I hear from other family members that she's apologetic, but she's not taken down the post and she's not come to me to apologize.
Right.
But here's my thing, that's only one instance, right? I don't know if any of my other family members are feeling uncomfortable. I did speak to another cousin who read the book and she was happy that she read it. She said she learned a lot of information and she feels the way I feel, like tell the truth. Just tell the truth. Stop protecting the people who harm you or who have harmed
Lovely.
your ancestors. And people are gonna feel what they feel. Feelings are meant to be felt.
True.
That's how I feel about it.
Right. When I read your book, your father Robert and my father, and people who follow me and follow my career, I've mentioned my relationship and with my dad. It's love hate. I see parts of me the way I have. My dad, I always say he's the smartest man I've ever met in my life. Um,
Mm,
but because of the abuse towards my mom, whom I don't know that I've loved anyone more in my life,
right.
it's just hard to it's hard to I wrestle with that memory.
Yeah.
Um, so my question is, have you have you made amends with all of the pain that was caused? Because my father's buried. He's buried out there in Providence, in off Airline Highway in New Orleans. That the cemetery out there. I think he died when I was 18. I'm 55 now, so 37 years. I think I visited his grave twice.
Yeah.
So how do you navigate those emotions to this day?
I made peace with my father before he died. He
Hmm.
died in 2005, so it's 15 years. 2005 was a really pivotal year in my life, in the life of America, right?
Right.
So I actually wrote about my dad in my second novel, in my sophomore novel, The Warmest December, which was
Hmm.
published in 2001.
Hmm.
And that was, I guess we can call that biofiction now.
Hmm.
At the time, I was, still a baby writer, still new and uncomfortable about talking about those things in a factual way. So I disguised it as fiction. But I had already written this story, and people who have been following my career, they see that they'll see the correlation between High Low in The Warmest December and Robert and Firstborn Girls. So when I wrote that book, I made peace with who he was, what he did, and I understood at that point because I had educated myself on addiction,
Hmm.
right, family trauma, and I understood why he behaved the way he did. And obviously, if someone is drinking themselves, drinking the way that he was drinking, that he was trying to,
Mask of pain.
thank you, mask a pain. And I came across a quote some years after I published that book that said, it would save you a lot of heartbreak if you just look at your parents as hurt little children.
Right.
And that's what he was. He was a hurt little boy. He was a boy inside of a man.
Right. No, I get it.
So, and I think he actually read the book because a few years before he died, he knew that he wasn't going to be long for the world. He was trying to make a change. He would. My father never gave me a birthday card, a Christmas card ever. And about 2 years before he died, he would borrow money that he did not need. Lend me $50, and I'd lend him the money, and then the following week he would give it back to me in a card,
Mm.
but like a really beautiful sentimental card. Love, Daddy.
Hmm.
I was like, what's happening here?
Right.
And the Christmas before he passed away, Christmas 2004, he came over to my home in Brooklyn, and I would hold the Christmas celebration there every year. And he gave out money to all the kids, right? $10, $5 in Christmas cards. And my cousin James jokingly said, "Ooh, Uncle Robert probably about to die. Look, he's giving out money." And sure enough, January 14th, he was
Yeah,
dead.
there's a saying in New Orleans, people know when death is on them.
Wow. Yeah.
And yeah, I've had some it's so funny we're talking about Robert and I'm thinking about my dad. There were confessions he made, and to this day no one knows. Like yeah. And then he'd say to me, he said all these things, and then 3 days later he passed. And in
See?
hindsight, um, yeah, I realized I guess it's a form of cleansing for them. I don't know. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, the joke is that people say that, yeah, they're trying to get into heaven now.
Hmm.
But back to your point when you were talking about
Hmm.
your grandmother shared a story with you.
Right.
Thanksgiving, the Thanksgiving before the Christmas, my father, out of the blue, just said, your great grandmother, she was yes, my great grandmother, who was born in Barbados,
Right.
and came to America in the 1920s. He said, she was an Obia woman.
Mm.
What? Just out of the blue.
Wow.
And then, he said a few more words about it, and that was it. So I understand that she was speaking through him. Like, you need to tell her this.
Yeah. Right.
Because if he had died
Mm.
before telling me, I never would have known this.
Right.
So that gave me a whole new perspective about her
Hmm.
and about her daughter and about my dad.
Gotcha. Gotcha. I mean, that's like a full circle moment. I mean, you can have closure when you have those type of interactions.
Yes,
I think some people, unfortunately, never get to have those.
right.
And that's probably one of the things that I wrestle with. I I didn't have an opportunity to have one of those types of discussions, you know,
Yeah.
because my dad was murdered in New Orleans, out in New Orleans East.
Oh my
Yeah,
goodness.
out in New Orleans East. He literally brought a knife to a gunfight.
Wow.
Right. So it is what it is. But you I guess the overarching point about this entire discussion is um that's that's how deep your book is. And although it's a memoir and it may be an opportunity for you to tell your story, I think that I'm proof that your story, um, all of our stories, but in particular your story, since that's what we're talking about, you never know who it's going to touch. You never know who can
Yeah.
relate. You never know who it's going to hit. And yeah, it hit hard for me. Besides the fact that it's so well written. You know,
Thank you.
you are a phenomenal writer. I may have told you this before. If I haven't, I remember, I'll never forget, I read your book, was it Nowhere is a Place?
Yeah.
And then I doubled back and I read the Book of Harlem.
Mm-hmm.
And true story, I remember saying to myself, you need to step up your game. You are such an amazing writer, and I just want to give you your flowers.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
You really are. I what you got next coming out? I mean, after you've done something like that, surely you got something you want to share with us. That's drop a little nugget, give the people a little heads up, break some news here.
Oh, I've been so the novel that I put aside to write my memoir,
Hmm.
I've now picked that back up, and that's the one I was telling you. Part of it is set in New Orleans. Um, it's um, it's a story that has been with me for probably 20 years,
Okay.
right? And bits and pieces, and finally, I guess it's been now 5 or 6 years ago, it came full circle. I was like, oh, I know exactly what this story is about.
Hmm.
What can I tell you about it?
Do you have a title?
No, uh,
No.
myth, myth of fingerprints. That's the title.
Okay.
The myth of fingerprints.
The myth of fingerprints.
Yeah,
Okay. Well,
yeah.
thank you. Thank you for that little breaking news. Do you at least have an idea of when it may come out?
Oh, I'm still writing.
Got you.
I'm still writing. I'm hoping, maybe 28. I'll be on sabbatical next year, so I'll have the whole year
Oh,
to.
okay. Cool. Cool. Um, well, the timer went off. I'm going to stop this part of the interview here.
Okay.
Can you see my nosy wheel here on the screen?
It's yes,
You can see my nosy wheel?
I do.
Okay. I'm going to spin this wheel 4 times.
Okay.
And of course, you reserve the right to answer what you want and blow off what you want. But I'm going to ask the questions anyway. I'm going to let the wheel ask the questions, okay?
Okay.
Okay, let's see what we got for you, Miss Bernice McFadden. What's your favorite movie of all time?
Oh, easy. The Color Purple.
The Color Purple, huh?
I watch it at least once a year. I love that movie. I cry at the same parts all the time.
Really?
Movie. Yes.
Okay, all right, all right. Let's see what else we got here. Readers want to know, where have you never visited that you would love to go?
Oh, so many places. But I'm really interested in going to Cameroon in
Mm-hmm.
West Africa
Okay.
because my African ancestry DNA test claims that that is where my people hail from.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Got to put that on the bucket list.
I think next year.
All
Fingers
right.
crossed.
All right. During that sabbatical, huh?
Yep.
Okay. Readers want to know, what is your guilty pleasure dessert?
I don't, I'm not a dessert person. Oh God. Oh, okay. If I had to pick one, it would be Junior's, because it has to be
Mm,
Junior's strawberry cheesecake.
mm. I had the last time I was in New York. I went to the juniors in Times Square,
Oh,
right down there, and that was all I ordered. I had my sons with me. They ordered these big hamburgers or whatever. I just went there for the strawberry cheesecake.
it's
It
delicious.
was it was amazing. It was amazing. Let me get one more. Let me get one more out you. Let's see. Get all up in your business. Uh, readers want to know, maize or earth, wind, and fire?
Oh, I know that maize is for a long time. I'm going to make sure I'm not making them. For a long time, people thought maize was from
In
New
New
Orleans.
Orleans.
God, this might be a tie.
You can get cut in New Orleans, you diss maize.
I know.
Yeah.
I think it's a tie. I love them both equally.
That's such a cop out. Because it's a cop out, I'm about to ask you one more question. I told you before, but you copped out on that one, so I got to come with a fifth. Let's see. Readers want to know, what was your most embarrassing moment as an author?
Oh my goodness. I've had quite a few. Many years ago, I went on this Walmart author tour. It was a lot of us, Victoria Christopher Murray, Donna Hill, like a bunch of us. And Brenda Jackson, right, was the huge favorite. People love her. She's got a huge following.
Mm-hmm.
So we're at this, and this was like in, I don't know, Ohio or someplace. So we're at this huge Walmart, and we're all sitting at our tables, and people are lining up. And of course, Brenda's line is outside the door. And one of her devotees walked over to me, and I didn't have anybody in front of me at the moment. She goes, well, maybe if you wrote like Brenda, you would have some readers. And
Wow.
she walked off,
Wow.
and I was like, oh my
Wow.
yeah, that was yeah, that kind of that hurt me a little bit. I was like,
That
damn,
probably stung, but
yeah.
if you could say something to that person right now, give her a piece of your mind. Come on, give
I
her
mean,
some.
like, listen, we write in our lanes. We each do what we do. That's it. It's not a competition here. But yeah, I don't think she was aware of that. I don't think she understands how that works.
You're so classy. You won't say it, but I'll say it for you. Whoever said that insulting remark to Bernice, take your ass, go write your own book. How about that? How about that? Um, look, you have been amazing. I've taken up enough of your time. I
Thank
just
you.
want you to know that I appreciate you. I know readers appreciate you. I know they're gonna love this interview, and nothing but I wish you nothing but continued success, and I'll be continuously reading your books.
And listen, you're amazing as well. This was a lot of fun. I love this wheel. This was great.
No
This was
doubt, no
great.
doubt. Well, in the future, whenever that next book drops, we're gonna definitely try to get you back on.
I would appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Okay, you take care of yourself. Ladies and gentlemen, that was the incomparable Bernice McFadden. Tune in next time. We got a list of authors. As a matter of fact, some of the people she mentioned just now in her interview might just be popping up here on Readers Want to Know. But until that time, I wish you well. Please be safe and please keep reading. Oh, by the way, go hit the like and subscribe button. Can't let you go without that. You guys take care. Bernice, see you
Yeah.
later.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye bye. Well, there you have it, folks. I hope you enjoyed the interview. Tune in next time when I give you a behind the scenes sort of glimpse into the personality of another one of your favorite authors. Until we meet again, I want you to be safe and keep reading.